You damn straight.
So firstly, happy Godzilla Day, everyone. It's been a while since I've done a monster vid, mainly because there's been very little Godzilla stuff to go on, which is weird, right? I mean, GVK2 is in the works. Apple have added Snake Plissken himself to the cast of Godzilla and the Titans, if that's what it's still called. We have the Skull Island anime due to come out sooner rather than later. What's going on with that? We've got a Kong series helmed by Mr. Saw himself, James Wan, but all that considered... But finally, the big G is back. Well, for 6 minutes he is anyway, because it's like, yeah, it's a 6 minute long film. But damn, do they pack a lot into those 6 minutes. So I'm guessing this is to mark the 50th anniversary of this guy's first appearance in Godzilla vs. Gigan all the way back in 1972. And also to give him some screen time because the last time he was officially on screen was Final Wars in 2004. Since then, he's only been seen in the comics, which I'm planning to get back to at some point, and GVG, which won a contest called Gemstone, or is run by a company called Gemstone, I'm not sure which. And as a prize, the director, Takuya Uneshi, got to make a sequel, backed by Toho themselves. In Godzilla vs. Gigan, which is presented more like a trailer than anything with a linear narrative, but in it, you see something crashing to Earth, obviously Gigan. He fights the military before the big G shows up and blasts out some atomic breath, and that's it. It feels like a teaser to something else, to something bigger, especially as there's one or two shots of multiple Gigan. It's pretty good. The CG is actually really, really good. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a combination of puppetry and CG, but it's all amazing. The Godzilla design is great, combining a lot of elements from different eras. The skin texture is from Shin, for example. This shot right here reminds me of Millennium for some reason. There's some great snippets of action for a fan film. Well done. You know, really well done. So Godzilla vs. Gigan Rex starts with some haunting music and some voiceover explaining that it's been 25 years since Godzilla was last seen. Then we see the Cyber Turkey giving the Air Force a run for their money. It's like he's just swatting F-35s out of the sky. He's really surprisingly maneuverable. Before we jump into a land battle between some army tanks and some other of the Gigan. Oh, and I love how he makes shish kebab out of the tanks here. Then it cuts to a Gigan falling down dead, which I'm guessing would be the Gigan from the first short film that we saw grappling with G-Man. Again, Godzilla looks great with slightly shorter dorsal plates to what we've been used to in the Monsterverse lately. Sometimes he looks like Shin to me, occasionally he looks like Ultima, but they really did an amazing job. He looks great. The atomic breath here feels really powerful, and they're obviously on a budget, you know? It's not Monsterverse. It's not Monsterverse, but it still manages to convey power. The fact that it's right beside the camera and you see all this debris flying really helps you feel the power, and it really makes me want to see this on a big screen with a good sound system. Let's talk about Gigan real quick. I feel like they've taken a few steps back towards the classic design, especially compared to this. Like his beak is a little bit shorter, his neck is a little wider to make him look more muscular, I think. But you know, I don't mind it. I'm good with that. I'm cool. He was always one of the goofier character designs. That rounded belly always gave him a sort of a dumpy look. Like something about his body shape reminds me of Hank from King of the Hill. Speaking of the belly though, the reason it is that shape is of course because of the circular saw that he has in there. And we saw that in GVG it can extend out further than it ever could before. And here we get a really good look at all the mechanisms going on in there. That's some ornate design right there. It's dainty. I always thought, like, what's the point of having it there in the belly? Like, hugging his opponent is literally the only way it can do any damage. But we see that in Godzilla vs. Gigan Rex right here. Puddles! So Godzilla throws down the second Gigan and then stomps on his head. He blasts off the one who was trying to cuddle him to death with an energy pulse from his dorsal plates, and then he atomic breaths the last one when this guy lands. This guy's arm sword can turn into a boss saber chain. He can hold off Godzilla's atomic breath with his arm swords. He has an eye in his chest that can blast out a huge beam of energy. I don't remember that before. Is that new? And then on top of all of that stuff, 9 more Gigans fly in. The Nebulans have been busy, damn it. Like,
You damn straight.
I mean, how's it work? Did they just clone a bunch of giant turkeys and then implant them all with this weaponry and cyborg stuff? Or did they just get a bunch of regular turkeys and then put all the implants in and then make them really big with some kind of like reverse shrink ray? Yeah, that's it. That's better. That makes all the sense. So the Gigans start flying past our guy with their circular saws all extended. It's really just actually unfair. Then they release these balls. Then they release these glowing orbs, which must be some sort of energy. Oh, I just noticed that when these orbs come out, the Gigans actually kind of crumble. So it's actually that Gigan Rex is ripping their power cores out so it can harvest the energy.
Harsh.
Which feed Gigan Rex with power so he can unleash this. Godzilla blasts his white-hot energy attack back at it, and they beam clash for a bit, but Gigan's red beam seems to get the better of him. But then the G-Man pushes back, and it's about to hit Gigan Rex when it just sort of cuts as debris smothers the camera. I find that a real shame. Like, I really wanted to see Gigan Rex take the hit to see what it would do to him. But all we get to see is Gigan sort of land and then kind of keel over. Then we get a sort of victory roar from our guy, and credits. Finn. It's too short! Of course, you're left wanting more, but this little short film does make me think that a series of short battles like this could work really well, like some sort of Toho short anthology, different versions of Godzilla versus the whole back catalogue, of Toho monsters. That's all we really need. And in a way, one thing many people seem to have issue with when it comes to Toho Godzilla is the amount of talking and human stuff. So actually, this really does cut to the chase and delivers only the good stuff. But it was awesome, and I really do appreciate the effort. Does it quench the thirst for more MonsterVerse stuff? No, not really. But with the announcement of a new Toho Godzilla movie, which I believe is scheduled for next year, the future is definitely bright. We just gotta hang in there.